Yo, what is up, guys? Back with a new video. It's on the Toronto Raptors. I'm from Canada, so a lot of the Canadian media is focused on the Raptors since, they're the only Canadian team in the National Basketball Association. And to Canadians, they have a big spotlight. Everyone talks about the Raptors, but this season, they are 7-12 and struggling. Like last season, they were the third seed, was it? Third or fourth seed going into the playoffs. People were picking them as like their dark horse pick to win, but that never happened. They lost to the Celtics. And I'm going to give you some reasons why the Raptors are struggling, just because there's a lot of factors that come into why they're playing like doo-doo, like trash. The first problem is they do not have a defined star or a really good player on their team. They have a bunch of like above average players. They got Siakam, Lowry, Boucher, I think Norman Powell's averaging 15. Fred VanVleet's averaging the most. They have 6 players on their team scoring more than 15 points per game, but 0 scoring over 20. As a team, they don't have a defined star. Like, even Washington has 2 defined really good players, defined stars, in Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. Even though they suck, Washington's just a whole different breed. But they just don't have anyone that can carry the team. And that's what the Raptors need. They need a star, someone that can carry the team, kind of like what Kawhi was, or DeRozan was. And then they have all those role players beside them, like the Lowrys, like the Gasols, like the Ibakas. Losing Ibaka hurt the Raptors so much. Their defense is horrendous now. Now let's get into some stats. As a team, they're 27th in the league in field goal percentage. I think it was 43% they shot as a team. They're 27th in rebounds per game. They're bottom 10 in the league in turnovers. They're also a very average defensive team. I think their defensive rating was 15th and their offensive rating was 16th. So they're average in both, which isn't good when you're a struggling team. You want to have that one thing. Like, you're either a really good offensive team, kind of like the Nets, and a really bad, like, this is a good example for the Nets. The Nets are really good offensively, but their defense is terrible because of certain reasons. They lost Taurean Prince and they lost Jared Allen, 2 of their better defenders on the team. And then you get Harden, and Harden is very underrated when it comes to defense. Everyone always says he can't play defense, but if you actually watch the NBA, he can play defense. So if you say he can't play defense, then I don't know what you're talking about. Another factor into why the Raptors aren't doing as good is because, 1, they don't have the star, and 2, their bench is terrible. Yeah, their bench is terrible. Also, a lot of key players or bench players that played last year don't play as much this year just because their defense is terrible. Like, they brought in Malachi Flynn. Toronto media was hyping him to be better than LaMelo Ball. You have Matt Thomas, who is a 3-point shooter, kind of like a poor man's Duncan Robinson. He played a good amount last year, but his defense got worse. And the last thing the Raptors need is someone that can't play defense, because they already are a bad defensive team. And let's look at ways the Raptors could fix their struggles, you could say. They need to trade someone. Out of these 2 players, I think they're probably the best 2 to trade. Either Lowry, you can probably get someone decent for Lowry, or a pick for Lowry, or Siakam. Trade Siakam because he is not doing good this season. Trade him while his stock is still relatively high before it tanks. They also need a big man. That's one thing they do need. Boucher is good. Chris Boucher is good, but they need some help at the center position. Alex Len was, I guess, like a test. He wasn't good. You have Aaron Baines, who's so. He's all right. There's definitely better. But if you can trade one of those, if you can Siakam for like a center, a good, decent center, definitely would be a good trade. It's definitely a good trade. But thank you guys for watching. I'm going to try and pump out 2 videos a week now. Just with school, it's kind of getting busy. I got a new semester starting soon. So thank you guys for watching. See you next week or another video this week. Peace.